make one for me while you're at it, Jimbo?
Sorry. Tried not to wake you.
Oh, it's Brian.
Who do you think it was? Hey, who's Jimbo?
Me pet goldfish, I had him in London.
A pet goldfish that brings you cups of tea in bed. They're certainly know how to breed him down there.
I've lived a bit since I was last here. Haven't we all? Haven't you?
Could say that.
You've grown up, Brian, and it shows.
Good or bad?
Oh, good, definitely.
What do you think you're doing?
Me? I'm pulling the curtains.
I mean, dressed like that?
I've just got up, Flower. I've been asleep. I don't know about you, but I do not go to sleep in raincoat and Wellingtons.
Well, at least put a dressing gown on.
I haven't got one.
I have. It's behind the bedroom door. Just for a minute.
Oh, in a minute when I've had me cup of tea. Look, Gail, Brian's a married man, and I think Tricky Nicky's a bit too young to be sidetracked even by me. Do you think your Auntie Susie's gorgeous?
No.
Oh, go on, say yes, I'll buy some choc-chocs.
Stop trying to corrupt my son. We don't say choc-choc in this house. I've had enough trouble trying to train his mother-in-law. Oh, thanks. But at least put your jacket on.
Oh, she's all right. I'm going upstairs for a shave anyway.
Do you want to cook breakfast or what?
I think I've got time, love. Just do me a couple of rounds of toast. I'll be down in 5 minutes.
No.
He's changed, your husband.
Do you think so?
He's more mature. I think he was a bit wet in the old days, a right mummy's boy.
And you told me. More than once.
Oh, it didn't put you off, though, did it?
Whenever did I take any notice of what you said?
Yeah, very true. You could be a right stubborn little Deb in your own quiet way, couldn't you? You gave Elsie quite a few bad moments.
Now listen, it was you that gave Elsie the bad moments.
Yeah, good old Elsie. You, me and Elsie, the three musketeers.
No.
That's a shame it all broke up in a way.
Well, you've got to lead your own life, haven't you?
You have. Me and Elsie, I gather, still in the same boat. Footloose and fancy-free. So I wish you still were.
What do you think?
Yeah, daft question. You got what you always wanted, the whole happy nappies domestic bit. I never did.
And now?
What? Want a husband? Oh, I don't know. Why? You thinking of slinging yours out?
No! And you're the one who used to think he was wet.
Oh, that was in the old days, precious.
How do you fancy going to a singles club with me one night, Fredface?
What for?
What for? So you can find yourself a woman, of course.
Why should I go with you?
You would be going with me, so that I could find myself a fella. It's just that if we go together, it's a bit of moral support, like.
Oh, you mean and split up later, like?
Well, I wasn't suggesting that you spend the entire evening hung round my neck. No, it'd just be nice to know that there was a friendly face there, in the event of them all turning out to be dead weedy with little moustaches and pipes.
Yeah, and the men might be horrible as well.
It's very funny, that, Hilda. I wish I'd thought of that. What have you found? If it's money, it's mine.
No, it's an earring.
It's probably mine as well.
No, it's not. It's less than a foot across.
My, we are witty today. What's put you in such a good mood?
Ah. Well, my son and his wife have invited me down to stay with them for a few days.
Oh, now that is nice. When are you going, love?
Oh, I'm not. I can't afford to take the time off work. But they've asked me.
He will be here at 1:30.
Who's that, Mrs. Walker?
The insurance assessor. We're to meet him at Brian Tilsley's garage.
You want me to go as well?
I certainly do, considering you were responsible for the crash in the first place.
Well, it weren't my fault, Mrs. Walker. It was that idiot Yates. He came backing down the top of the street. I mean, he came straight down and, I weren't nowhere near.
You parked it dead stupidly, though.
I parked it where I parked it 1,000 times before. I could smash his face in, I could,
That
Yates.
would hardly repair my car, would it?
No, it won't be difficult, Mrs. Walker. A couple of dents in the wings, scratch here and there.
Not a lot when you say it fast, is it, Cock? Not forgetting new headlights and a bumper as well, I believe you mentioned.
The insurance will pay.
That is not the point, is it? It is the sheer inconvenience being without one's car at this particular time of the year that I find so trying. And all for the lack of a little forethought, a commodity which seems to me to be in very short supply these days.
I wouldn't care, but they're never the same after, are they? I mean, my brother Archie had his car done up after a smash. Still rattles like a load of old scrap iron.
Oh, very reassuring, Hilda, very reassuring. Why didn't you tell her that when she was here, eh?
Well, she would have done, but she didn't think of it, did you, Hilda?
Oh, can I have my lunch, Shirley? They're in over at Whitedorf Hospital and visiting hours are 2 to 3. They say he's in for a test, and it worries me. I mean, it's the third time he's been in. What are they testing for? That's what I want to know. Are you listening?
Yes, Uncle Albert. Herbert Whitelaw.
Whitehead, what's up with you, any road? You've been acting tuppence to Michelin all day.
Nothing's up with me. I've just got a few things on my mind, that's all. Now, if you want your dinner early, will you let me get on with it?
Right, get your party frock ironed.
What?
We're off to a dance, Thea and me.
When?
Tonight. I know it's a bit short notice, but I said we go.
Tonight? Oh, Ken, I can't.
Why not?
Well, I told you, I'm going out with Carol.
Well, you've been going out with her a lot lately.
That's only the second time.
Second time in a week.
Yeah, Uncle Albert, please. Look, love, I'm sure she'll understand if you just say it's important.
Well, why is it so important if we've only just been invited?
Oh, we haven't just been invited. I've had the ticket. Well, I've known about the tickets for some time. I didn't bother getting them. Now I find out that all the top brass who interviewed me for that job will be there, so obviously it makes sense to go along, introduce the wife and all that. I mean, to meet these guys in a social context, obviously it all helps, and it keeps your name in front of them.
You really think it'll help you get that job?
Well, let's put it this way. Won't do any harm.
What sort of do is it?
Well, hang on to your hat. It's organised by the social services, but actually it's a probation officer's bash.
Probation
Yeah,
officers?
it's all part and parcel of the same machinery. Anyway, what's wrong with probation officers? Scratch them and do they not also bleed?
It's not that. Don't be daft. All right, then. I'll ring Carol, see if I can put her off.
Just tell her your husband's taking you out for the evening. She won't mind.
Oh, I hope not.
Hello, Marco, Mr. Baldwin. I want a table tonight for two for about 8:30. Yeah, okay. Oh, by the way, the last meal we had there was fantastic, and I'll tell you what, I'll have the same table if you don't mind. Excellent. Okay, bye.
Good thinking, Mr. Baldwin. You booked us a nice quiet table, you know, so we can look into each other's eyes without anybody else nosing on.
About the sample, Vera?
I'm not expensive either, you know. No, I don't eat much. Just 3 course will do me, and a couple of liqueurs and my coffee.
Vera, give me the sample.
It has to be about our Jack, you know. No, if you don't crack on, I won't.
Vera, give me the sample.
Sample, Mr. Baldwin. Mind you, I admire your principles, you know. Not wanting to go out with a married woman. But take it from me, the best kind. We're grateful.
You know, you've not stopped talking for 24 hours and you've still not told me nothing about what happened in London.
Rubbish, I've told you everything. I told you about the wine bar and being a croupier and modelling and demonstrating steam irons.
Hey, do you remember that time you were demonstrating sausages dressed up as a chicken?
I always got it was a chef, do you mind? The chicken was the week before. The egg promotion. I don't know, in the middle of a flaming supermarket dressed like a flipping Tweety pie.
Talking about birds, do you remember the time you got up in Elsie's loft over them pigeons?
I wandered over into the Ogden.
And Hilda Ogden looked up to see a dirty great pair of size 9s coming through the ceiling.
Hey, don't. She took Elsie to the small claims court over that.
Elsie weren't very pleased.
Oh, dear, we had some laughs, kid. Hey, you remember that party when Elsie was away and Steve Fisher got me up in the bedroom?
You got Steve Fisher in the bedroom, you mean?
I wonder what happened to him.
Did you never hear from him? I thought you might.
No. All part of my murky past. Probably married by now to some boring female with a couple of boring kids.
He was all right with Steve Fisher and very keen on you. That's what I mean about not telling me about London. Were there no fellas?
Oh, yeah. Thousands. Millions.
No one special.
Yeah. And all married.
You could have done a lot worse than Steve Fisher. I remember that time he thumped your dad when he was giving you aggro.
He was always giving me aggro.
Did you ever see anything of him?
Why do you think he keep changing me address?
That's not the reason. You always did have big ideas.
Still do, kid.
So what now? I mean, what are your plans?
I'm going down to the Rovers, look at a few old familiar faces.
I meant about getting a job. Somewhere to live.
Oh, something will turn up. It usually does. Right then, I'm off. You sure you're not going to come with?
No, Nicky won't be awake for an hour yet.
OK then. Have fun. Oh, I don't know what time I'll be back.
You are coming back then?
Well, I've got nowhere else to go, have I?
No.
Oh, hello. Could I speak to Mr. Baldwin, please? Oh, I see. When will he be back, do you know? Right, I'll ring back then. No, No message.
Hey, are you fit enough to be in here?
No, I'm not. I'm still wobbling on my pins. But I've signed off sick and I'm reporting back to work. Somebody's got to look after that wagon up before you'll get any more lumber.
Oh, isn't it amazing? Anybody else want to have a go? Elsie, Hilda, Bet?
Forget it, Eddie. It'll be a 7-day wonder. It's easier to dent a flipping car than it is to dent her.
Yeah, I'll still have to put up with Moaning Willie here, though, won't I?
Well,
Talking of armour-plated, look what's just wafted in.
Oh, hello, Betsy. Not changed a bit, I see. Well, not to look too close, that is.
Kids, where did you land? Where did you come from? And why didn't you let me know you were coming?
Oh, you know me, love. It's all spur of the moment. Well, how is everybody?
Ah, smash.
Hey, great to see you, Suze. You bring a bit of sunshine to the gloom.
You better not let your fiancé hear you say that.
Fiancé?
Yeah. Got myself engaged. Bet that surprises you, eh? How about you?
When you spurned me, Edward, how could I look at anybody else again?
Still chucking herself at out in pants, I see.
she can chuck herself in my direction any time. Seeing as nobody's going to introduce us, love, my name's Chalky. I'm his gaffer. Now, can I buy a lovely lady a drink?
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Chalky. I'll have a large Pernod with ice, please.
Right, love.
That's just to let us know she's been to London.
Yeah, let's go and sit down, Mother Natter. You will excuse us, won't you? I mean, we've got a lot to catch up on. She used to be my lodger, this one.
I thought it might be again, but Gail says you've got somebody.
Gail?
Yeah, I stopped there last night. A nice little cosy domestic setup they've got, them two.
Well, yes, it is now.
Hey?
Anyway, tell me all the news. I've got about 5 minutes before I get back to the factory.
Oh, that's something else I want to ask you about.
This is Mr. Powell, Mrs. Walker, from the insurance.
Good afternoon, Mr. Powell. I do hope I haven't kept you waiting. Now, about this unfortunate fracas.
Well, I've had a look at the damage, Mrs.
I'm sure it looks much worse than it really is. You know, that's usually the case, isn't it? And this boy can work wonders. Now, Brian, what it really matters is this. How long will it take to restore my car to its pristine condition?
I'm afraid that isn't quite the point at issue, Mrs. Walker.
It isn't.
Now, the thing is, it's an old motor, and
but a quality car. Practically vintage.
Quite so. But we have to go by its present-day value, which is unfortunately rather less than what it would cost to repair. So I'm afraid that as far as the insurance company is concerned, the car is a write-off.
A write-off?
I'm afraid so.
Just put them down over there. I'll look at them later.
Oh, we can look at them now if you like. Well?
Well, as I live and breathe. I knew I shouldn't have run over that black cat.
Oh, that is a nice welcome from a former boss. Not to mention a former...
Let's leave old skeletons in the cupboard, shall we?
Oh, no old skeleton as far as I'm concerned. When I pop off, they'll find I knew Michael Vernon Baldwin engraved on my heart.
Yeah. Him and a million others. Well, what brings you back to this neck of the woods?
Would you believe you? Oh, well, it was worth a try. No, I am back because I thought, why be selfish? Why let London have the full benefit of me?
Didn't make a go of it down there, then?
Me? I was a toast of the town.
So you haven't wandered in here without knocking on my head to see if I got any jobs going?
Certainly not. Why, have you?
Nope.
Oh. Well, that's not what Elsie said. She said you were doing a bomb and a new line of bags, and she was sure you'd use another pair of hands.
Oh. Well, Elsie got it wrong, didn't she?
Look, I know I was a troublemaker in the past, but I've grown up now.
So I see. A grown-up troublemaker. No, to tell you the truth, Susie, I just can't afford to take on anyone else at the moment.
Oh, well. I just have to take that job as lady in waiting to Princess Di after all. However, what about friends?
What about 'em?
Lady friends. I wouldn't say no to a nice little intimate welcome back Susie Birchall dinner for two, just for old time's sake. I don't think I'll be stepping on anybody else's toes, because according to Elsie, there was somebody, but she's long gone.
Ah. Well, there again. Elsie got it wrong.
I see. Who is she?
It's been nice talking to you, Susie, but I've got work to do, you know.
But
this is outrageous. Sheer lunacy. I mean, the car is damaged, but it's certainly not a total wreck.
I've explained to you, Mrs. Walker, it doesn't have to be. It's the cost of putting it right.
Oh, come on now. It's only a couple of wings, dent here and there.
There's a lot more than that. Look, I've done a breakdown for Mr. Powell there. Can I borrow it, sir, please? Right. 2 new wings, £120. New headlamps, £60. A radiator, £90.
Bumper, about £40. Paint, £25.
Labour, somewhere in the region of 145 to 160.
Look, you can shave a bit of that, Brian. I mean, Mrs. Walker is an old friend.
I've got a living to earn, mate. But still, I mean, you're left with the cost of all the parts.
So, you see, we're talking in the region of approximately £500.
And you're telling me that my car isn't worth that?
Mrs. Walker, the car wasn't worth £500 before the accident. It certainly isn't worth it now.
Baldwin's Casuals, Baldwin speaking. Oh, it's you, sweetheart. What a pleasant surprise.
Well, I'm afraid it's not actually, Mike. I'm going to have to let you down. I can't make it tonight.
Well, why not?
Well, Ken's got tickets for this do. It's a probation officer's ball. No, don't laugh. No, it's important to him. Some of the bigwigs who interviewed him for the job of deputy director are going to be there, so I'm sorry, Mike. I would have loved to have gone, really, but you do understand, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah, of course I do. But if you'd rather spend the evening with a bunch of probation officers instead of me, well... yeah, of course I understand. Look, I'll make it up to you some other time, all right? I promise. Bye, darling.
Do I gather someone has actually had the temerity to turn you down?
Well, it's not unprecedented, you know.
I rather thought it was.
Now, you listen, Mrs. B. Just because you can run my business better than I can these days, don't you get uppity, okay? Oh, listen. You got to get stroppy with Gordon's about these zips, all right? Now, I'm going to leave it entirely up to you, because if anyone can get stroppy, you can.
Just shows you. All them years paying insurance, and what for? It's a flaming swizzle.
Yeah, it's where the system works, love. Now, if car had been worth a couple of thousand, I'd have paid it without a murmur.
So you'll not get a penny then?
Of course she will, you daft noggin. They'll give her the market value of the car.
Do you mind? I'm perfectly capable of answering for myself. I may be distressed, but I am still perfectly compos mentis, thank you very much.
Yes, Mrs. Walker.
Still, it's an ill wind, eh? I mean, you'd be able to put all that to a shiny new motor, Mrs. Walker. I mean, the Rover was getting a bit clapped out, wasn't it?
It certainly was not clapped out. It had years of roadworthiness in it. Years. Now it's gone.
Gone to that great junkyard in the sky.
Hey, here it tells me Susie Birchall's been over to see you.
Yeah, that's right.
And you sent her away with a flea in her ear.
Gobstruck she what, cocky little devil. She's not used to him saying no to her, you know, it'll do her good.
But I told her that you might give her a job.
Oh, well, you shouldn't have, should you?
You see, I told you that. We don't err back with the lemon drops.
Exactly. We've got enough stirrers and troublemakers, haven't we, Vera?
Oh, I know you mean, Mr. Baldwin.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah, that Ida. She's a right devious monkey on quiet, you know.
Look, Susie's a good little worker. She's worked for us before. There's plenty going over there, so it's not unreasonable to suppose there might be a job for her.
No, but there isn't, and I told her, all right?
I suppose so.
Look, she's a survivor, that one. She's as tough as nails. There's no need for you to do your mother hen act, all right? Now, stop sulking. Let me buy you a drink.
Oh, that's kind of you, Mr. Baldwin.
I'm a very kind man. Why don't you tell your pal that? So it's a gin and tonic and...
Well, I'll have to say, you know, if you twist in my arm.
Right, a large cup.
Would you have time, though, Mr. Baldwin, you know?
Well, seeing as it's only 6 o'clock, this doesn't close till 10:30, I think I'll manage it, yeah.
No, I meant, I thought you were going out to dinner, you know, that quiet little table in Owl Cove.
Well, I'm very sorry for you, but that has been cancelled. I'm sorry I didn't tell you. But I'll tell you what, I'm thinking of blowing my nose next Tuesday week. Will that do instead? I know you hate to miss anything. And you wanted to wish Birchall on me as well.
More pie, anyone? Brian, Susie.
Please, love.
Oh, no, Char, that was terrific, but I've got to watch my figure.
Hey, looks all right to me.
What have you done to this man, Gail? He would have said things like that in the old days.
Well, he's learned a few tricks since then.
Must be that place you went to. Where was it, Brian?
Gato.
They should send all fellas there on a 6-month stint if that's what it does for them.
I could think of a few could do with the benefit.
Get off, will you? All it did give me was a suntan and a few quid in the bank.
And taught you how much you miss your wife and child.
Yes.
It gave you the confidence to open your own business, that's all.
Well, in partnership.
Rose and Royce was a partnership. Hey, I'll have more tea, though, if there's any going.
Yeah, pot needs topping up. I'll do it.
So, you didn't have much luck today, then?
Oh, it's early days yet. Something will turn up.
That's always been your motto, hasn't it?
Oh, it's a good one. Something usually does. Well, it did in London, anyway.
What do you come back up here for, then?
I miss me old mates up here.
Hey, come on, Susie. Now, what was it really like down there? I mean, really?
Well, it depends, love, what sort of a person you are. To me, it's the most magical, exciting, wonderful place on earth. If you've got money. Well, they're not here yet.
She should be in any minute. Oh, you do look nice.
Oh, thank you. So do you. Hey, it's freezing outside, Uncle Albert. I should wrap up warm if I were you.
We'll give him a lift to the Legion on our way.
But he's still got to walk back, hasn't he? Why don't you share a taxi between a few of you?
No, I'm not going to waste no money on taxis.
No, you'd rather catch pneumonia instead, wouldn't you? Oh. Hello, love.
Hello. Sorry if
Come
I've
in.
kept you waiting.
All right.
Phone rang just as I was leaving. Mavis wanting a natter. Hello.
Hello.
She's a bit down. I think secretly she had hopes of something developing with Victor.
You should have asked her round. She could have kept you company.
Oh, no, thank you. I brought my book. I know it's selfish, but I'm not really in a Mavis mood tonight.
OK, we're right then.
Yes, I am, Uncle Albert.
Hello.
Right, you know where everything is to make yourself a cup of tea, don't you? I've left some cake and some biscuits
Don't
and that.
force, I'll be fine. Just get along and enjoy yourselves.
Thanks, love. We shouldn't be too late. Right. Hey, maybe we can find a spare fella at this do tonight. Get Mavis off Emily's back. You think she'd fancy a probation officer?
Probation officer?
Well, it's their do we're going to tonight. Pleasure be crawling with them. Anyway, see you, love.
Do you prefer being with a bunch of probation officers to being... Oh, my God.
And we return to the street tomorrow morning at the same time here on Plus.